how Duece Vaughn helps Dak Prescott in this upcoming football season. All right, guys, I'm going to talk about that and more. But before I do, don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Follow Boss Cowboy Sports on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can follow me, the OC100, on Twitter. Okay, Duece Vaughn, Kansas State Wildcat running back, drafted in the 6th round by the Dallas Cowboys. What a surprise. Well, his father, part of the staff of the Dallas Cowboys, and so he gets the nod. He's picked up. Listen, he's no shabby pickup. For those of you who do not know already, he was a bell cow for the Kansas City Wildcats. And listen, this guy had almost 2,000 yards from scrimmage this past season. He played extremely well his last couple of years, and even his freshman year to boot at Kansas State. He had almost 1,600 rushing yards and added an additional 300 some odd yards catching the football out of the backfield and in various positions on the football field. So he's very, very explosive, very, very shifty. He's 5'6", about 178 pounds. So listen, not a lot of size there, but a lot of speed, a lot of explosion, a lot of toughness, in my opinion. He ran a 4.4440. He bench pressed 225 almost 20 times, I believe about 16 times. And so he comes in squeezing all of the speed and all of the strength out of the body that he has. But how does he help Dak Prescott? How does he help him in particular? Well, I'm going to talk about that, but first I got to give you some background. This past offseason, the Cowboys cut a legend, Ezekiel Elijah Elliott, off of this football team. And you had the emergence of Tony Pollard last season. So Tony Pollard emerging, being really now the first running back in terms of the depth chart on this roster. With the release of Ezekiel Elliott, we had to get some more depth around the great Tony Pollard. The unfortunate thing about Tony Pollard is that he had a lower leg injury. And so we haven't seen him practice. We haven't seen him play since the end of the year when he was hurt. So all indications is that, hey, he'll be back. He'll be ready for training camp, but we don't know. And we do know that Tony Pollard is not a power back. Although he did run tough in between the tackles when given his opportunities, I want to give him credit. But in terms of his stature, he's not a power thumping, short yardage type back in the same way that Ezekiel Elliott is and was. So we tried to help the situation because now the Cowboys go out and bring in former Tampa Bay Buccaneers running back Ronald Jones. We already have Malik Davis on the roster, who is a smaller, change of pace back, similar to but not as good and explosive as a Tony Pollard. And so you add in Duece Vaughn into that mix. Well, Duece Vaughn, really, if you look at Ronald Jones and you look at Malik, he probably has the most tools out of all of those guys. But how does this affect Dak Prescott? Dak Prescott in particular is at his best when the run game is established. And I know this may not be conventional thinking, but Duece Vaughn is a guy that will run the football for the Dallas Cowboys in a variety of ways. Not just in the screen game, not just in the sweep game. Duece Vaughn, hear it here first, he's going to run the football inside. And he's going to be a reliever for Tony Pollard. And number two, he's a tremendous safety net. Because if Tony Pollard is not up to snuff in terms of his physical abilities because he's not fully recovered, and or we have an injury to a Tony Pollard, you're going to have Duece Vaughn step into that role more than likely and split carries probably with a Ronald Jones to really help sustain this offense. When Dak Prescott throws the football less than 40 times, the Cowboys have more than an 85 win percentage. That's right. So we still cannot forget the core fundamentals of what is going to make Dak Prescott successful, and that is having a strong, consistent, and balanced running game. To boot, also, Duece Vaughn is a guy that catches the football extremely well, and he caught the football extremely well for the Kansas State Wildcats. And so, hey, look, he's a guy that you can put in the slot. He's a guy that you can roll out of the backfield. He's a guy that, in addition to Shoemaker and the other tight ends we have, is the great equalizer if you're dealing with him one-on-one and a linebacker. I'm going to go out on a limb and say most linebackers, unless they're elite linebackers and super fast guys, they're not going to cover effectively Deuce out of the backfield. He's going to be a mismatch on linebackers, which means you can run him easy wheel routes, easy flare routes, easy up and goes or out routes out of the backfield. And that is going to take a lot of pressure off of Dak Prescott, especially with the emergence of CeeDee Lamb, because CeeDee Lamb for sure has established himself as a number one receiver, and more than likely, he's going to draw all the double teams. Now, we did bring in Brandon Cooks, who can win one-on-one. We're counting on him to win one-on-one. He has to win one-on-one, but if he doesn't win one-on-one, who do you have now? You got your third option, which is Michael Gallup. Not sure where his health is going to be. And then you got your check down options tight end, and you got a really, really good, young, explosive back in Duece Vaughn. The last thing about Duece Vaughn that really helps is this. He can score points for your team without you directly having to give him the ball. What do I mean by that? Special teams. Duece Vaughn is a guy that can help the Cowboys on special teams. And my prediction is that he is a guy that is going to get the ball and going to get some opportunities in the punt game, right? In the punt game. I believe he will get a chance to get some opportunities there at some point during this season. And when he does, man, he's so slick, so sudden, so shifty, so explosive that, man, I think that this young man is going to make something happen. He's just one of those guys that you got to get in space. You got to get him in the open field some type of way, or if he gets himself in the open field in some type of way, this guy is going to make plays for the Cowboys and take pressure off of our franchise quarterback, Dak Prescott. All right, so guys, let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think about the video. Do you think Duece Vaughn will be a factor in this year's offense? Because personally, I do. Let me know if you agree, if you disagree, and where you sit with this, guys. But don't forget to follow Boss Cowboy Sports. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can follow me, the OC100, on Twitter. And until next time, see you.